Holy Trinity or?
Yeah, the Catholic Church going up.
Oh, on
down
Nottawa?
On Ottawa there.
Yeah.
Catholic Angels or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Holy
Hmm.
Angels.
Holy
that's it.
Angels.
Yes.
They were having it last night too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So
Oh.
maybe the ones that normally came here.
Maybe they went up there. Oh, that's interesting. That's true. That's very possible. Yeah. Wow. So, it's a kind of a rainy day, or I mean, is it supposed to be rainy?
Well, it's supposed to be, it's going to be overcast all day long with like 15-20% chance of rain here and there. Just muggy and overcast, and then rain late tonight and all day tomorrow.
Wow. Yeah, it's.
We're just feeling the kind of prelims.
Yeah. Well, mine says like rain all day.
Today?
Yeah.
Well, what percent though?
Well, it's a low percentage till about like noon.
Yeah, you can't.
Mine,
No. I'm sorry. That's
Mine-
till later tonight.
mine shows
Lower
7 o'clock it starts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 'cause I'm planning on mowing places this afternoon. So.
Gotcha.
Should I check too, since we're all checking?
Hey,
You're
yeah. You
not
better
quite
check
old
your
enough. You have to
check
be a
your.
senior citizen to do that.
Yeah. I mean, you
I
gotta
used
you
to
gotta.
get so frustrated with my dad because it was like, why do you have to check the weather? It is what it is.
Hey, so we have sound. Hey, that's always good. I always love to just check and make sure that we have sound. So. So we are, yeah, we are live, anyways.
All
But
right.
so what's on the agenda today for you guys? So you're you were gonna mow or are mowing.
We probably will. I'm probably going to. But we're hoping that Beth's dad isn't watching.
Who?
Beth's
Father, because isn't that who you said you always want to know why you didn't watch the weather or why you?
He always watched the weather. I didn't understand it.
Oh yeah.
The weather is what the weather is.
Gotcha.
Do you have to know what it is?
Gotcha. Well, yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Once
You
you
go
walk
out, you get
outside.
wet. It's raining.
Yeah.
The
So
course
speaking
would be
of
to take an
rain,
umbrella so you don't get wet if you knew. See?
yeah, so speaking of rain, so on your wedding day, it was a beautiful. I mean, it was a great wedding, great time. So, but it rained most of the sprinkled and rained most of the day. Did that dampen your guys' spirit, or did it? What did it do for you guys?
Initially leading up, we were hoping the whole ceremony and everything could be outside. But that morning, I mean, it was like drizzling a little bit, and the rain wasn't that bad to the point that it actually made for some really good photos.
Really?
The photos are amazing.
Yeah.
Because, and we were talking about that once we had left, because had the sun been out, everyone would have been squinting in their photos to try to. So I mean, I think it was
Like perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. Whether we realized it at the time, we were both kind of stressed that we didn't want it to have. We didn't want the ceremony to have to be inside.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
it is what it is, and
Yeah.
everything worked out. So
That was. I mean, it was a packed out place, and
I didn't know that many people liked you. They must have been there for Hannah.
they were all there for Hannah.
So, how does it feel now? It's been a couple of days since the big day, big wedding day. For those of you that maybe didn't know, is it feel weird that it's over? Like, I know you it's been building up. I've been looking forward to it just getting done, and but is it now that you've had a couple days? Does it feel weird?
Careful.
See, I don't know why everyone always complains about marriage. It is so easy. I mean, it's been so fun.
4 days in, he's got this.
He's got this.
Is she cooking breakfast for you yet?
No.
Then you haven't. You're just starting marriage.
Let's just start. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think the reality of the situation is still kind of setting in with us. That
Sure.
Okay, I mean, I would say the biggest thing for me so far was the sleeping. So I was like, I mean, I have a queen sized bed, so I mean, I figured it'd be fine, but she's
She a bed hog?
Careful.
I will be asleep.
You will have plenty of space on the couch.
I will be asleep on the very edge of my side.
Yeah.
And then I'll roll over, and she's like right there.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
But it's taking a transition for the both of us to
You
Yeah.
get used to it. So.
Have you woke up shocked that there's somebody else in your bed, like you forgot you were married?
No, I did wake up. I told her about this, so it's okay to talk about. But
Yeah.
it was our first night inside the house, and I was dead asleep, and I just feel something hitting me, like I mean, up against like my butt and my back, just like hitting me hard. So I turn around and I'm like, "What's going on? What?" And I turn, and she's like swinging her fist and like hitting the bed too, and I'm like, "Hannah, what's happening?" So then she wakes up and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What? You were hitting me." And she goes, "I was. Oh, I'm sorry." So still adjusting, getting used to each other. And,
Whoa.
Is she a sleepwalker talker or no?
I've noticed she's a talker, definitely.
Really?
And some movements, but I know I talk in my sleep too.
You do too? Okay.
And I'm a big snorer.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. Wow. That's crazy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Tiffany is one. I don't know if you guys are like this, but she could actually like be in one spot, like so she could lay down and like not move. Like
Hi, Carrie.
That is so. Oh, hey, Carrie just came in. Anyways, she does not move, and I'm a roller, and I guess I take all the covers and so. What are you guys like? Beth? What are you guys like? Jim
Well, you said Beth.
I'm perfect.
or Beth? Do you just lay down and stay in one spot, like don't move? You're a roller tosser.
I don't. I get up a lot because there's dogs that have to be let out, and then I get frustrated, and then I just bring them back into bed with me, and then Steve gets up because there's no room.
Gotcha.
So once Clementine gets in the bed, there's not much room
It's over.
for anybody. She's a little bit of a large princess.
What do you like, Jim? Are you a roller? Or are you?
Oh yeah, we're both movers. We're
Oh,
both
yeah.
we're both movers, both snorers. But
Gotcha.
we after being together this long, we've learned to understand one another, and
Yeah.
I don't steal the covers, and she doesn't steal the covers, and
Wow.
so
But as far as snoring, is it a race to see who can get to sleep first?
yeah, it kind of is. I mean, my snoring, neither one of us bothers it unless we're trying to come to bed and go to sleep. But once we're asleep and you wake up, I'll wake up and I'll go to the restroom or something and come back and she'll be snoring. It doesn't bother. I'll go right back to sleep. But when you first get back in there and try to go to sleep, if one is already there snoring, you're like, really? But you know you're going to do it too. So you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, the big day's over, and you have a ring on, so that's Wait, you do have a ring on. That's different.
Yeah. So we.
I was gonna say that was like flexible. I was like,
Yeah,
wait.
so this is one of those silicone rings.
Oh.
So it's like rubber. Hannah and I ordered them, I think the day after we'd gotten married, just because we'd heard some good things about it. And I put it on yesterday is when it was delivered. And it is surprisingly pleasant. Like
Really?
my tungsten steel ring was it was bulky and it just was uncomfortable, but this is just so much. So I asked her last night, "Are you going to be upset if I wear this?" "Well, no." "Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah, as long as you wear it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to wear then. I love you, but
But you like that. I was gonna say you moved it, and I was like, wait, how?
yeah, just a little.
Is that the new metal or something? I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. Probably a lot cheaper too, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, my ring on my tungsten steel was only $22 on Amazon.
Oh wow.
So my wedding band. Yeah.
Gosh, I wish that was not how cheap mine was. I would have liked that price. Gosh, we didn't have Amazon back then, so it's like, oh, that would have been so nice. It might turn your finger green or like, like.
If it does, just paint the inside with clear nail polish.
There you go. There you go.
Or don't wear it and wear that one.
Yeah, wear that one. That's awesome. I love it. That's cool. It looks really good. It's just funny to look at your hand now that you've got this
Yeah, I know.
thing on your finger. It's like,
Still
wow.
Still getting taking some getting used to.
Yeah.
It gets sweaty in
Hi,
there.
Dana.
Oh, is Dana on? Oh, hi, Dana.
So Sherry.
Oh, hi, Sherry. Good
Sherry.
to see you guys.
And Joanne.
Joanne, nice to see you. Glad you're here. And so, yeah, that's crazy. Just, crazy times. What's going on at the BZ house? Anything new?
No, we're pretty boring right now.
Yeah, we were going to say that, but
Yeah, we're pretty boring. I can't think of anything exciting we're doing.
gotcha. Well, we're doing something fun tomorrow, or should?
Yeah.
So
Maybe
you have
I
fun
don't.
plans tomorrow night, right?
Well, yeah, I have an obligation tomorrow night.
Yeah. So last week we took Beth out for. Did you get any
No.
messages? What?
No.
No
The
messages.
3 people that were watching, 2 of which was us, probably didn't. Like there's 3 people watching right now. I'm one, Jim's one, so somebody else is still out there.
Yeah. It's
Whoever
like,
you are, thanks.
yeah. Well, we're
Tell your friends.
we're filling space inside.
They must have got offended. Now there's only 2.
Yeah.
Me and Jim.
It's cyber world that is. We're
It's
just
one of
filling
those,
space.
Oh no, they know I'm here.
They know I'm here. They know I'm here. So, we took her out and had lunch, and then she said, we need to take our spouses
That
out.
is not what happened. You brought up Bill's. You said
Oh,
people talk
because you
about
had been to
Bill's,
Bill's
and you've never
Steakhouse,
been
yes.
There.
No, I've been
Somehow
there.
I'm
I've been
getting
there.
blamed for
I've
this
been there for a
whole
long time.
Thursday thing, and it was this guy.
Hey, I just said I haven't been there in a long time, and you're like, well, what
I
if?
said, why don't we go?
Why don't
You
we
can
all
try it
go?
out.
Let's get it on the calendar right now. So we're going tomorrow night, so it's gonna be fun. And
Don't feel obligated. Y'all don't have to go.
hey, I want Bill's Steakhouse.
Should probably tell Hannah.
Yeah. I should probably text her and let her know.
Gotta let her know.
Hey, best
You
thing
are
you can
bringing
do.
her. I'm glad.
Best thing you can do is sync your calendars. Unless you have that already, it's like, oh, hey, we're going
Can you
out
sync
somewhere
like
tomorrow?
an iPhone and a different kind of phone together?
I have a Samsung. She has an iPhone. So we've already explored like, all right, let's get like Google Calendar that we can both have on our phones.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that what you have to do?
So we haven't done it yet, but that's what we're going to do.
Gotcha. Well, cool. So you're boring.
Typically, yeah, I am boring.
That's all right. That's
I
okay.
can't think of anything exciting. I mean, like our biggest news is Sophie's not peeing in the house
Well,
anymore.
hey, that's always good. That's good news.
So,
Are you wanting someone to pee in the house?
no, that's why we don't invite you over.
Where's Hayden? He's
One
over in the
time.
corner. What's he doing in the corner?
Make one mistake, one time. This was one situation, and
Never invited back again,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just asked him to put the bunk bed up. I didn't ask him to pee in the bedroom.
Hey, I'm marking my space.
This is my lower bunk.
This is mine. Tell those grandkids that day off,
That's right.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, last night we had, we finally mowed. I was afraid it was going to rain, and I was like, I have got to get this lawn. It was like super thick.
That's
And
the first time you've mowed this season?
no, second time actually, but it was long. I just was running out of time, and so Luke did half and I did half, and we got it all done last night. And so, and I like Star Trek. I'm a Star Trek fan. I like watching sci-fi, and
The new or the old?
I like it all. I love it all. And it's if you look at my Netflix account, and I'll be watching like one of the Star Trek series, the episodes. I'll be walking through it and I'll watch an episode here and there and go through that series and then go to the next series. So I love it all. So last night I was watching a Star Trek movie, and I don't know. Did you ever watch the original Star Trek's movie? The movies.
Yeah.
Not the TV show. I like the TV show. The TV show actually worked. The movies were so long and so rough.
That's what happened. I mean, I get that with a lot of remakes, or they go from TV to movie,
Yeah.
and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's not the same when they change the characters, and you still got Spock and you got Captain Kirk, but they aren't William Shatner, and they aren't
Yeah.
Nimoy, what's his name?
Oh, Leonard Nimoy. Yeah.
So it just becomes,
Yeah, I know those guys.
it just becomes different.
Yeah.
That like when MASH was a TV show, and then they went to a movie, and I'm like, I don't like that.
Oh,
so,
really? Yeah. I don't think I ever saw the MASH movie.
Yeah.
Was there a MASH movie?
Oh yeah.
Multiple movies or just one?
I only know of one
I think only one.
because I never watched them again after that.
It was like, they lost their fan base.
yeah, mine anyway.
All of a sudden, it's like, I don't want to watch this movie. I want to watch it on TV shows.
Right.
So yeah, I was watching that last night. Luke and I. Luke, it's funny. He likes Star Trek, Star Wars, stuff like that. But that's not his favorite. He's got
Star Trek and Star Wars, they're kind of the same, right?
yeah. He likes Marvel. He likes stuff like that, and
Like the Avengers and things.
yeah. His favorite. Luke's favorite is Jurassic Park.
Oh.
Like the originals, and the new ones are okay, but the originals you just can't beat them. and they were really good. So we really like those. But anyways, you like those too, or no?
Yeah, yeah. I like the original trilogy for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The new ones have been a little disappointing for me.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely. So, and we are watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is incredible.
Yeah.
They have done an incredible job. This is totally off topic, but anyways, but
I haven't seen that one yet. I've seen it's out, but
that's on Disney Plus. They are really good.
I don't have a Disney Plus, so I can't afford
Are
that
you
kind
a
of stuff.
Verizon?
Like
Are you a
yeah.
Verizon phone person?
No.
Oh, because you could get it for a year
So-
for free.
Wait, maybe I can switch.
Should.
So
awesome.
how about come on, King Kong and Godzilla, the new one?
So Luke and I, we all went out and watched that
Yeah. And
over
you-
spring
and-
break, and
and
that was okay. I'm not a huge fan of those because
I got to watch it before we went to Florida. And Zeke, my grandson, he's a Godzilla fan. And so he's always, Godzilla's going to win. He hadn't seen the movie yet and stuff. And then so I watched, he didn't know that I watched the movie before he did. But I was like, it's too Wi-Fi for me.
In case people haven't seen the movie, you shouldn't probably give the ending out.
I won't.
Oh, no spoilers.
No, I won't. No spoilers. It's just
I haven't
it
seen
got
it
too. Got
Yeah, he's like, don't
too,
say
it
anything.
got too techie for me.
Yeah.
Of
Oh, sure.
There were things in there that I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I feel bad for Hong Kong. Hong Kong will never be the same.
well, it was never the same back when the original Godzilla came out.
Yeah,
You know?
but they rebuild so
But
fast.
they were great movies because you got to watch some guy saying 3 words going.
Yeah,
You know,
and then
his mouth is moving in Japanese, but the words are coming out English. And you're like, okay.
yeah. It's like Planet of the Apes. Did you ever watch Planet
Oh yeah,
of the Apes?
yeah.
Okay,
Hated that show.
It's funny looking back at the new stuff to the old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh gosh, we've definitely improved our abilities since then. Okay, let's get to the topic at hand. So I want to talk about with you guys, see what you guys think about this. I've heard this before. It's a miracle. It was a miracle. And part of me is like, I want to believe it's always a miracle. And but I'm like, how do we know it's a miracle? Or did it just work itself out? Did it just work out? Because sometimes it's like things, give it a little bit of time and they work out. Or did God really do a miracle? How do you know? Like, so have you had something that you've wondered if it was a miracle or if it just worked out? Like Sunday, you want to tell a little bit about what happened Sunday in the kitchen? And we'll let these guys determine if it was a miracle or not.
Oh, well, I already know it was a miracle, but
Okay, so never mind what you guys think.
Our comments don't matter. Go ahead, Beth.
Yeah, but what else is new?
Oh,
well, Jim's comments matter.
yeah.
Hey, all comments, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Oh boy. So back to Sunday. We had our connection luncheon, and we had probably at least 20, if not more, people come than we had thought was going to come, which was awesome and great.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
were glad they came.
Yeah.
But as we got the food on the table, all the food that was in the kitchen on the table, there was not enough food to feed people.
You were thinking, no way.
There's no
There's
way.
no way this is going to work out.
And so I was talking to your wife about it, who, if you ever need anything prayed for,
I know.
you go to Tiffany.
Yeah,
because
it's great. I'm telling you, it's
she
crazy.
has a hotline.
She
to
does.
God,
Something.
and he listens to her.
Something.
Anyways, so she just prayed that the Lord was going to give us the food, and she thanked him for it before he gave it to us, and literally food started coming in that was no one was coming in, wasn't in the kitchen. I literally don't know where it came from. I mean, obviously people carried it in.
Sure.
And I didn't see it, but I mean,
Sure.
it wasn't expected. We had no idea, and it was literally, the food came after the time that we were supposed to start eating.
Sure.
So we had not started eating yet because we were still trying to figure out food, but we should have started eating. So I definitely believe that Tiffany's prayer.
Because
Yeah, miracle.
everybody ate. We had would you say, over 100 people
Right
there?
about 100 people.
Yeah.
And
Everybody ate, and there was some, not a lot, but there was some leftovers. like, I don't know, some
Yeah.
fish and bread. I don't know, just a little bit left over.
Yeah. So there's a little over 100 people there, and then you had planned for less people, and so the elders and the staff, and then we brought some food in, but it was mainly just to love on our those that have been becoming new a part of our church, and then but we wanted to give them a nice dinner and a good time together. We really did, but we didn't know that you were stressing, behind the scenes of, oh, do we have enough food? And then you guys pray, and then all of a sudden at the end of it, we have a little bit more food than we needed, but it
Right.
wasn't what we had planned. So
Right.
was it something that just worked out, or was it a miracle? So you say it was a miracle. Tiffany said she saw it too, and she's like, it had to have been a miracle.
Yes.
She's like, because there is no way. She's like, I was there. There was no way that could have handled it the way that it went. So what do you? I know you were newly married. You guys were
He
on
skipped church on Sunday.
your honeymoon or honeymoon suite, and then so you didn't see it. But I'd like to know what you guys think. What do you think? Was it a miracle? Is it a miracle, or is it just something that just happened, worked out? Who wants to go first?
Why do you don't even have to ask me. I mean, I'm always on the side of miracles. And prayer brings them about.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to get in more depth. But it's a miracle to me, and whether or not it's coincidence or circumstantial, has to do with the circumstances that are taking place. I mean,
Sure.
so this one you could look at and say, well, coincidence that people brought food in late. But they weren't asked to bring food in late. They weren't. The food came from places that no one expected, that we didn't know, we didn't plan on, we didn't of any of that kind. Okay,
Yeah.
so that makes me believe that but there was a prayer made that we have enough food, and that food would just be there for us.
Yeah.
And guess what? We got food coming in. all
And
of a
it
sudden.
was taken
Okay,
care of.
Well, then to me, that's not a coincidence that somebody come walking through the door. Not just a person, several people come walking through the
Several,
door bringing food. So to me, that's a circumstance of, no, there was a miracle performed by prayer.
Yeah.
Okay, by those that believe in that taking place. And I think other circumstances of other things, there are things and situations that you can get more on the coincidence side, that, okay, maybe it was just coincidences. Here's a coincidence. Is it a miracle or coincidence that this man decided to get married on my anniversary date? It's just coincidence.
Or mistake.
Wait, there's a third option.
It was just coincidence. I look at it as a miracle because, of course, it's a special day. And he took
That's
it over.
right. That's
But no,
right.
but those kind of things can be.
Yeah.
But when you have specific things happen,
Yeah.
or even plan for happen with prayer and so on, I don't want to take up all the time here, but I mean, I get excited about miracles because
Oh, yeah.
I have been to India and I have seen miracles transpire. What do you mean by that? Well, I seen a deaf and mute, and I knew him for years after been going to India. Unless he pretended the whole time, every time I was there, for month after month and year after year, to be deaf and mute, and he was just waiting for the chance to be known as a walking miracle, then a miracle transpired because
Wow.
he was able to hear and speak
Wow.
after a day's worth of revival prayer.
Wow.
So I don't want anybody to tell me it was just coincidence
Yeah.
that on that given day and that he was able to hear and speak.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Those are miracles that have happened.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm a miracle fan, and I know they take place not only when you say, well, they took place in the Old Testament, but not today. Well, I'm sorry, I'm living in today, not the Old Testament, and I watch it take place and happen.
Yeah.
And so I'm a true believer in miracles. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
miracles do happen.
That's awesome.
And I can give you many other circumstances, but I don't want to take up all the time.
Sure. We do want to hear more, so go ahead. What do you think, Hayden? Do you think I mean, you're more of a factual and thinking. Do you kind of see it as that just, that's the way it worked out? It's not a miracle, or is it a miracle? What do you think?
So, for me, once again, you said facts. So I like to go. So I looked up the definition of miracle.
Yes.
Just so we're all.
Yeah, what's it say?
It's a surprising and welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency.
Okay.
So, Would everyone agree with that?
So like it can't naturally. It's something that goes beyond nature.
It's inexplicable by nature or scientific laws.
Yeah. So 2 + 2 = 4 is not a miracle. It's scientific fact law that 2 + 2 = 4. So it's got to be beyond that. Okay. Okay.
So I would say in that situation with the kitchen, okay, there wasn't a real reason why there would be, or why someone would feel compelled to bring food extra, besides an inclination from God, then say, okay, all right, maybe we should bring some more food. I don't know who it was, and I'm sure, I know that we're very thankful for them, but yeah, I would classify that as, a miracle, work of God. But I guess my follow-up question
Okay.
with this, and I know that I kind of tend to side on the pessimistic more. Because if you're a pessimist, you're never disappointed. You're just only ever surprised.
You're always surprised. It's like, wow, there you go. There's always a positive side to
But so if we look at the everyday happenings,
Yeah.
and classify them as miracles, does that take away from the actual, when there is a big miracle, does that take away from the specialness of it?
Interesting.
You understand what I mean? Like,
So like you were running late. You had to get to the dentist. I mean, I got to go to the dentist today. So you're running late. You go to the dentist, and all the lights are green, and you're like, it's a miracle. All of them. Is that what you're saying? It's like
something as simple as that in everyday life. Does that take away from when something like you said,
like
the
this
man in
deaf and
India-
mute
Yes,
man
exactly. Like
now able to hear and see or talk.
Well, but I think that's the problem. That's why people don't believe in miracles, because they think a miracle has to be the deaf can hear, people get raised from the dead,
Okay.
the lame can walk, the mute can speak. They just think that's a miracle. But when other small things happen in your life that
Yeah.
God allows to happen,
Yeah.
not by chance, by design, then it's, it wasn't a miracle. It was a chance thing. It was a consequence. It was, then I think it's just the opposite. We belittle the miracle.
Interesting.
So you could almost say that blessings, like having the blessing of having all green lights, blessing and miracle could almost be simultaneously.
Well, in
meaning
God's
the
word,
same
it
thing.
doesn't use miracles every now and then, but mostly it's signs and wonders. It's the same thing. It's just those signs and wonders are designed by God as miracles being performed by disciples and other people. We have been given in Scripture the ability to do miracles. And that's in the New Testament, not the Old Testament.
Sure.
So, no more speaking in tongues. We've all been
Yeah.
given gifts.
Yeah.
One of them is
Yeah. Gifts. Yeah.
the gift of miracles. Okay? So why do you not believe it? Well, the reason is because you don't have that depth of that belief.
Sure,
Yet.
sure.
You haven't gotten there.
Sure.
I know so many Christians that say they believe in God and Jesus Christ, but they don't believe in miracles.
Yeah. It kind of goes together.
Talk to me about Mary.
Sure.
Was it coincidence that she had a baby?
Yeah.
She had never slept with a man.
Yeah.
I guess so. It just happened.
But like you said, it's kind of like that's a big deal. I mean, here you've got a woman that's never had relations with a man, and then all of a sudden now she's pregnant, and so that is the big miracle. But are there definitely little? So like we've got a gentleman in the I'll say in the area that was going through some stuff with a child, and they had been praying. Well, they were very upset. I mean, and rightly so, that this was going on with their child. People, like we found out about it here at the church, and basically I think we put it out as a prayer for people to pray about this, right? I think you put it out to pray for the health of this little one,
Yes.
this young one.
Yes.
And then come to find out it was a misdiagnosis. So if I'm looking at that, I'm going, whoa, could it have been that our prayers had redirected what had happened? Or was it there was a misdiagnosis, they didn't have the facts right, and now they find out, this never was going on in the first place. How do you know? How do you know? And that's the hard part about it for me is like I watch these things. So like Sunday, with the food and I guess I want to say everything's a miracle, but then I understand what you're saying that.
Well, I don't think everything is a miracle. I lean on Hayden's side too. I mean, there are things we take and call for miracles that really I think are very questionable. Okay.
Like the green. Would you look at all the lights green? As a questionable miracle, like you would say, okay, no, that's a blessing. I mean,
that's God showing favor in your side.
To get you, thank you, God. I was running late and I needed to get there, and thank you for working that out. But it wouldn't be considered a miracle.
There's a couple of intersections up in Sturgis that if I know I'm trying to get out on the highway, I'm just going to be, And seriously, as I'm driving towards, I said, God, please show me favor when I get there. Create an opening.
Create an opening.
And 9 times out of 10, I get there and there's nobody. Okay, where I go?
Are you that guy that threads the needle and makes everybody
No,
go, oh, Hayden, you smiled. I'm
Pulls
like,
into the turning lane.
Yeah.
And then waits for it to.
yeah, the Lord bless me with an opening. No, you just slowed down because you had to, because you needed to let me in.
All traffic's all sitting back waiting for you to pull in. And you're
Exactly.
Like, go ahead.
Yeah. So you wouldn't see that as a miracle. You'd see that more as a blessing, a favor of the Lord in that moment, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, at what point does it go from a blessing to a miracle, would you say?
That's a good question.
That's a
good
very fair
question.
question. Again, I think to me, it's all about perspective. Just like you lean on the side of I'm going to think about this, and is there a reasoning behind it? And I lean on the side of, okay, that's a little past. I think that's a miracle. So to me, it's just a matter of perspective of how we're looking at it, and just like anything else. I mean, to me, this whole book is a miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a walking. I mean, from the beginning of the time when it says I created light, was that consequent? Was that coincidence? The two stones butt each other and light became. Don't believe that.
Yeah.
And so it's a matter of faith levels, and there's
Sure.
no scientific proof to prove that this is even real.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we're looking at scientific proof and being skeptical about something, then we shouldn't believe this. So you either have the faith to believe in miracles and the word of God, or we don't. And that's why we lose so many people.
Interesting. Beth, you've been a little quiet. What do you think? Not that
I told my story.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
But
I did my
like
part.
I've done what you've done years back when my grandma was still alive. I took her grocery shopping. If you don't think that's fun to take a 90-year-old woman grocery shopping, who wanders? But I also had 3 small children, so I'd have 2 carts, one with kids, one with groceries, and then my grandma to keep track of. And literally every Friday night on the way to Meyer, I would pray that God would give us a close spot so that I didn't have to corral the 4 of them and try and get in. Probably 9 times out of 10, I would have one of the first 2 spots at Meyer on a Friday night, which that's hard.
It's hard.
So are you and I both saying God's only 90% good?
Oh,
Or
well,
maybe it was that we're only 10% right.
I'm
and
gonna
he was showing
say-
favor the rest of it.
I'm going to say the 10%.
we did something wrong.
No, the 10% was probably the weeks that I was just so overwhelmed that I didn't even pray about it.
That's right.
Pray about
That's
it.
right.
Well,
So-
Tiffany. Well, that's the funny
Yeah.
thing because who were we talking to? We were talking to some friends at the at your wedding, and we were talking about going driving into a parking lot, and Tiffany goes, "Yeah." No, let me step back. We were talking about favor, and I said about your husband sitting next to me. I said that guy wins everything, and they're like, "What?" And I was telling them about it, and I said, and the other day. He won something again, and come to find out, it was in my dream. He won something in my dream, and I said, "That's
told him
how."
about that.
So I was like, "That is like so irritating to me." And then we were talking about. And then Tiffany goes, "Well, yeah. Well, you drive through, and this is where she says you drive through the parking lot, and you always seem to get a front
spot.
a front spot." And I'm like, "No, I just always go look." So how many times is it because I went and looked that there was a spot, and how many times did I look and there wasn't anything. And so is it and that's the thing. It almost comes back down to, it's kind of like how actively involved is God in our lives in the various things like that, because like that. So is it wrong for her to pray about, hey, God, give me, maybe that's not the right word is wrong, but is that
Selfish, maybe?
is that selfish? It's like, so should he says, present your requests to God, and so we're presenting these things to God. God, it would really help me out a lot if you could get me a front row parking spot so I can help this woman get in with as little traffic as possible. I mean, and God cares, about that little old lady, and he cares about her health and her safety. So was that a coincidence? Did God just, or a favor, like God worked that out? Or did it just go the way it was supposed to go? There was an empty parking spot, and you happened to be there at that right time, and you took it.
I prefer to think that he answered my prayer.
Gotcha.
That's what I think. I prayed
Gotcha.
he answered it.
Gotcha. Okay, so.
Anyway, I got to say hi here. Hello, my beautiful daughter. How are you?
Check
Is that Holly?
Holly.
Welcome.
We did miss some people. Jane, Sue.
Oh, nice. Welcome, everybody.
Kayla,
So,
Carol.
I'm sorry, we have not even talked to anybody that's watching. So, hey, hello. We were in the middle of our conversation about, is it a miracle or was it just something that was a coincidence, like not necessarily a coincidence, like we don't believe that God's not involved. We're just saying like we're just, did God really do a miracle, or was it just happened to be that all the lights were green and we were running late and it just worked out that way? We're having that conversation. If you would like to have any conversation a part of this, we would love for you to interact with us and be a part of it. We'd like to welcome you. So we have these great conversations about these little things that are going on in our lives and all that kind of stuff. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're glad you're with us here today. So we'd love to hear from you. Is it a miracle or is it just a coincidence? Or we've added another layer. So now there's 3. So there's miracle, God's blessing or favor, and just coincidence, or it just worked out that way. So what is there a tipping point? So I noticed, you said that man was healed as a result of the prayer. So you prayed and there was enough food. You prayed and there was a parking spot. We prayed for this young man, and again, we don't know, but all of a sudden now we find out that it was a misdiagnosis.
God healed him.
Is that the tipping point? Maybe that's adding some fuel to the fire here, but is prayer a part of that picture? How many times in the Bible? So if you look at John 6, it's the feeding of the 5,000. And I wanted to bring that one up because they're like, there's a ton of people there. The disciples look to Jesus and they're like, Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd and said to Philip, where shall we buy bread for these people to eat? And then he asked, only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. What was he going to do? Jesus already had in mind what he was going to do. So what was he going to do?
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Seeing who was on the...
Oh, you're not even listening. Okay, fine. He was
Mike.
going to test them and have them trust God to provide for them. You're all like going, oh, this is my chance.
Sorry.
I love it. No, you're okay.
You have your job, and
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Here on the...
Well, so Philip looks at this and says, the scientific proof, like you're talking about, with the whole idea of a miracle. He says 8 months' wages would not be enough bread for each one to even have a bite. So scientifically, we look at this and say, no way. There's no way we don't have enough money to be able to give anybody really any substance for this meal. Then he says, well, hey, we found a little boy that's got a couple of loaves of bread and some fish. And then, but they're like, and they say, but how far will they go among so many? So it's like, okay, cool. Okay, so Jesus says, have the people sit down. They all sit down, and then he ends up giving thanks, meaning he prayed and talked to God, the Father, about the food. And then they distributed the food, and guess what? Everybody had enough, and there was leftovers to be had. So would you call that a miracle? I think we all would. Okay, even if you wanted to say scientifically, like, the definition of it, there was not enough food to be able to feed everybody. There's just no way. But God took it and multiplied it and made it happen. So, but it's interesting that Jesus prayed. So how often, I guess that would be an interesting study, is to, before a miracle, are there miracles that happened that weren't as a result of prayer? I mean, because you got the guy that was his slave or daughter was sick, and he said, please come, and he said, don't worry, is the asking of Jesus, is that in a way prayer? I'm asking you, to do what only you can do. So anyways, is it contingent on prayer or not? What do you think?
I think with us, yes. With Jesus, no.
Yeah, okay. So
Being God and the Son of God.
Yeah, he doesn't have to,
And the Holy Spirit, all three in one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's required.
Yeah.
But with us, definitely.
Okay. So in the asking, we've asked for a miracle. We're asking for God to do something. Maybe somebody's watching and their marriage is struggling, and they're asking for a miracle in their marriage. Maybe like that. You got a son that's got an illness, and we're praying for healing. Somebody's lost a job. Well, okay. Coincidence or not, there's a bunch of jobs that are out there. They need workers, so, but it may be finding the right job might be a hand of God.
I'm holding out for executive positions.
What's that?
I'm holding out for
You're
executive
holding out. The question is it contingent on prayer? What do you think? Can God still do a miracle without us even asking? Or does God prefer to respond to request?
Well, that'd be like, just go the opposite of that, of saying, does God answer every prayer? The answer is no. Not in the way that we think. He answers every prayer.
Absolutely.
But does he answer in the way that we think? So does he answer to make sure that it's a performed miracle the way we think a miracle should happen?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And there, we have thousands of millions of people to tell us that.
Absolutely.
I've been praying for this and praying for this and praying for this healing, and it just isn't taking place.
Yeah.
We can't answer why, but we know that God has our best interest in hand, and he looks at our future of things and other people's future and best is around the whole situation. Because many times if the miracle doesn't take place, someone else gets healed in a different way or gets saved because of what has transpired or doesn't transpire.
Yeah.
So it's difficult because we grasp what's happening right now, where God grasps everything.
Yeah.
So we're just looking at that small picture of it. So I don't know how to answer that question other than the fact, again, it comes back to belief. And whether or not that God is going to answer a prayer or a request or perform a miracle, God performs miracles in all our lives every given day, but we don't recognize them.
Sure.
How many
So
times?
it may not necessarily be out upon request.
Yeah.
It may be that God does something in knowing that we need it.
I mean, being who I am, I'm a walking, talking miracle of God because of the fact he keeps me alive and keeps me on the straight and narrow.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be out there being a fool of myself. So.
That's right. There you go. There you go. Hey,
Not that I don't anyway. But
yeah, you were smiling. What were you thinking of?
So it made me think of this Babylon Bee article that I had seen. It says, God answers prayer of young boy who has cancer. No, God says.
It is Christian satire organization. Yeah, God answers no.
Nancy's
Drops the mic.
watching Nancy Packer.
Oh, hi Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Good to-
And
good
so's
to-
Tina and Mike.
Oh, hi Tina, Mike, everybody. We're glad you're
I'm
here.
sorry, I'd like to say hi, but my phone doesn't show all you people. So
Gotcha.
They like me better.
I guess
So
I know that.
any comments on the content? Anybody, or are they just enjoying
They're
this?
just watching.
They're just enjoying the conversation.
They may be laughing hard enough at us. The
They're-
tears are running down their
Well,
eyes
you're-
and they can't
They can't see the letters to.
You are requesting a miracle from God when you think that they're enjoying the
There
conversation.
you go. There you go. So let's pray. But that's the thing. It's like I see a lot of things happen, and part of me wonders, it's like, okay, how much of this it's just a part of life. There's a rhythm and a system going on, but God is involved. It's not saying that God isn't involved. if I'm looking for something in particular, like if, I run out of deodorant and I'm running to the store and I go into Walmart and I always get the 2-pack and I notice that all of my deodorant is gone, but one. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, was it a miracle or did it just, there was one,
That was our prayers being answered.
Please go get some deodorant.
Especially on those bike riding days. Bike riding to work.
That's coming. Those are.
Oh, I know.
Those are coming.
know.
We need to install a little shower somewhere in the bathroom, so we can.
Put a shirt in your backpack.
I know they
Yes,
like
just
that.
put a clean shirt in your backpack. That would work.
Yeah, some of us
great.
are big time sweaters. But anyways, so good stuff. I do think that it's one of those conversations that people need to be thinking about, that God is actively involved. Maybe there are times where we're praying for healing.
Can I jump in just real
Yeah,
quick?
absolutely.
Because you said that a minute ago about being actively involved in our life. But I truly believe God's only actively involved as much as you want him to be.
Sure.
He's not going to impose upon us.
Sure.
That we have a little Holy Spirit that lives inside of us, but like you always say, he's a gentleman. And
Yeah.
he will only do what we want and feel for him to do.
Sure.
So we got to be.
Yeah, because it does seem like the more we get to know him, the more we are allowing him into. Because how many times where we've had problems, we never even really asked him or sought him to help us out through that.
Right.
And sometimes he says, "Okay, you want to handle that on your own? Okay, I'll let you try."
So sometimes when people go through things, they say, "Well, where was God?"
Yeah,
Well, he was there.
yeah,
But where were you asking him long before this situation occurred?
yeah. The only problem I think that we're running into with some people that they'll find us, we'll see them in the counseling room, is I prayed and prayed and prayed and God didn't answer, or at least like you said, the way I thought. Is God? What do you do with something like that when somebody says, I prayed for a miracle and my marriage still came to an end, or I prayed for a miracle and my wife still died of cancer. I prayed for a miracle and my son still went off and was, never came back. What do you do? What do you do with that? I mean, you said sometimes God doesn't answer the way we want him to answer, but
I think a good example would be the Garden of Gethsemane. Lord, if this cup can be taken away from me, but not my will, your will be done.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't want to die.
Yeah.
But he knew he had to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, God could have answered it and said, "Okay, you're not going to the cross."
Yeah.
Where would we be today?
Yeah, truly. Yeah, because our benefit is that he had to die.
Right.
So, and it may be that in our thinking, it's got to go a certain way, but it's not necessarily the answer.
We have a response.
We do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
Just say first name, but
Yeah, Tina said, miracles are God showing us the power of his plan for us. If we aren't praying, then sorry, Tina. If we aren't praying, then we aren't watching what he is doing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yep. Amen.
That's paying attention. It was interesting. Yesterday, I was in my office kind of getting things ready to go for the food pack, or before we got going on the food pack, because I go help. I do my part, but they do their part and put
He
it
came
all
out
together.
of the office yesterday?
Yeah. So
Well, he can say that because none of us was there.
Yeah.
To dispute
That's
that.
right. But what was really cool is God put a person's name on my mind, and I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I'll just give them a call. And for some reason, it was really strong. It was like at those moments where it's like all of a sudden, I'm like, that person's on my mind, and it's like that you can't. All I could describe it as I couldn't like shake it, it's like just stays there. So I'm like, fine. So I picked up my phone, called him up, and said, hey, just checking in, saying how you're doing, and come to find out he was having a procedure this morning. And I thought that was pretty cool. That the Lord, that's a little the way God is involved in our lives. And like Tina's saying, it's like we're watching, we're listening, we're letting God speak to us and say what needs to be said, and perhaps that praying for, finding out and then praying is a testimony or an experience that we both needed to hear or something. Who knows? But anyways, well, appreciate you guys. Any last words before we get off not like morbid or anything, but just last words of getting off the vodcast today?
Closing remarks.
Closing remarks. Let's use that word. Closing remarks. Any closing remarks?
Have a God day.
Okay, there you go.
Go.
Any closing remarks or anything?
You've got something to say, Hayden. You always do.
He's married now.
I'm not allowed to say it on camera. So.
Okay. There you go. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today. And if you're watching us after the fact, we're glad that you were able to take some time and watch. And we hope it's been an encouragement to you. God is active. God is involved in our lives. It may be that things just happen. There are moments like that. But then there are moments where God does show his favor, like he likes to show his favor to Steve and give him all the stuff that he wins. I just don't understand
he
that.
gave me to Steve, so.
That's right. Because Steve's a winner, for that. And then there are times where God does a miracle, which is beyond our understanding. And it may be simple details, but it's still beyond our understanding. And God is actively involved in our lives, regardless of how this all plays out. God is involved. So we hope that you see him. I think that was kind of what we kind of wrapped it up today with watching for him in your life and listening to him and then telling somebody what happened. Give him the praise, because regardless if it's a miracle or favor or coincidence, let's give God the glory for all of it. And then in the end, let him say, "Oh no, that wasn't a miracle. That was I just gave you a little blessing that day." Or let God answer for that, because he knows exactly what's going on. So let's give him the praise. And because he really deserves it. So have a good day, and we'll see you this weekend.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, you won't see them. So because you'll be out of here on honeymoon. So
Lying out in the bikini.
there you go. Okay, so we're